Hi, Ann.
Hi.
I'm asking a question of everybody. So I'm wondering if what the shades of stone soup, if they are different amounts of the different fibers. And that's how you get the different color. And,
Go ahead, complete your question. Sorry.
and if so, do they all feel different? Because this one that we used for our nibelung was so yummy, just so incredibly yummy. Do they all feel that good, all the shades?
Yeah, they all do feel that good. I don't really find them to have different, particularly different hand, or they definitely don't knit to different gauges really, or anything like that. And anyone else can correct me if they find differently. I don't know how they really accomplish that. I mean, yes, to your original question, there are, I'm sure as much as possible, they try to keep the same percentages of everything, and to choose colors of those wools that will make the blend that they want. But in some cases, like with the Columbia, that's only available in white. So that would have to be offset in the darker colors by less of that and more of something else. And I'm sure they just choose, I'm sure their recipe is for the fiber that is the closest to it. That would be my educated guess. But the yarn is remarkably consistent across the color range in terms of those things. Whereas we do see, like with the Better Breakfast, I feel like the darker shades can sometimes have a slightly different hand to them. It's not like a super big deal, and it doesn't affect the final garment in any way, but in general, the lighter colors tend to be a little loftier because the lighter fibers are a little finer and a little softer and a little bouncier. But yeah, with the stone soup, I don't really feel like that's any kind of an issue. They're all really yummy. I mean, I say it all the time. I really just love that yarn. It's really nice.
Thank you. That was a great answer. That's what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah. And to a large extent, when we got the Targhee, well, I can talk about our yarn all day, but when we got the Targhee, I really love that for all the same reasons I love the stone soup. I really felt like, oh, that one really went really close to the top of my list too. And it's a very different yarn. It once it blooms and it's knit into a garment, it definitely has a little more stiffness than the stone soup, but it's very soft and likable and squishy and tweedy, and I really do love that one as well. And now, but with the Targhee, yes, you do get from the lightest color to the darkest color, there definitely is a slight difference in the way each color feels.
Oh.
The more you reduce the white, which is the Targhee only comes in white, and the blending fiber is a fine wool, and that's why we call it Targhee Tango. The white is the softest and most flannelly and cuddly, and the darker colors are a little bit a little bit stiffer. But you really have to be, I feel like you have to be a pretty advanced yarn expert to get a big differential there. Not that you guys aren't. You are all becoming weekly, monthly. I mean, if you think about it, like Jose and Sherry and some of the people that have been around been doing this with us the longest, like from the beginning. Can you believe how far we've all come? How much we've learned and how many different yarns we've So for 10 years, we've been doing, new yarns on a regular basis, if not monthly, like at least 6 new things a year that we actually knit with and hold in our hands. And how many other knitters have that experience? For us, it's like, oh, that's what we do, but there aren't too many people that really have that experience. It's pretty cool.
It spoils you for the regular stuff. You just
Totally. Yeah.
yeah, it just accumulates dust in my bins, and I go, I should give that stuff away.
I know.
Except for the sock yarn, I'm still a fan of sock yarn.
And
Yeah.
sea pearl.
Yeah, and pearl.
Which is fast disappearing, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave away 3 bags full of yarn to a friendly knitter who is much younger than I am. And I didn't give away any of my bare naked wool, and I've still got a couple tubs. And I'm like, what is wrong with this equation? But I can't give away my bare naked, but
no,
I
No.
still have some projects I want to make.
that's the stuff you want to knit with.
Right. Well, it has such body to it. But unlike you, Jose, I do have some sock yarn. That's kind of hard
yeah.
to resist.
Sock yarn and bare naked yarn.
Uh-huh.
Those are my go-to. Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 10 years. Wasn't the first fall in full color 2011? I think-
2010.
I believe 2011, I believe.
Yeah, I
Oh.
think it's
I
2011.
use the bag every week.
Uh-huh.
Like it's on the front. Yeah,
Yeah.
been a while.
Gosh. That just seems so unbelievable.
And before that, it was just commenting on Anne's blog. Just that's how you kept in touch and discovered the new patterns, especially.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a lot about other people's yarn because
Yeah.
people sent me a lot of yarn, and that was nice too.
I used to love your posts about your garden and all your
Yeah.
freezing and preparing.
Which I'm
And
doing.
That's not something I want to do, but it'd be like, oh, look at that freezer, how organized it is and full.
You should see our garden this year. It's really producing a lot of stuff this year.
Yeah.
I'm glad yours is. Ours isn't doing really well. We can't-
Really,
I can't get my tomatoes to produce my what do they call them? San Marzano tomatoes.
but it's
Oh.
early for that. It's
Yeah.
really for that. I mean, we never get. I haven't picked tomatoes yet. I mean, we did get our garden in late, and some people, when we go on our walks, I see that some neighbors have tomatoes that are ripening. Ours are getting lighter and lighter green. We'll have ripe tomatoes like next week or the week after, but we don't get a flood of tomatoes until August. I mean, I'm picking a few cherry tomatoes right now, every few days.
Well, I have very few green tomatoes. There's not even a lot of green tomatoes on each plant.
Do you fertilize?
No, I did not fertilize this year.
Oh, you got to fertilize your vegetable plants. Yeah, we do. We fertilize once a month. We use an organic foliar fertilizer, like I think in Home Depot, it's called fish food or something. You mix it with
Okay.
water, and when you're watering, you put that spray can on the hose and you spray everything. And especially since it's been so dry, it lands on the leaves and the leaves absorb it.
I will do that next year. Now our green beans are going like gangbusters.
You can do it now. You can do it now. I mean, we fertilize once a month through the summer, and that's enough.
I might
And
do-
watering, I mean, they need lots
Right.
of water.
Yeah, we do water quite a bit. so.
Yeah. Well, if you're watering, it's easy to add the fertilizer. Fish food is one thing you can look for, and ours is called Maxi Food, I think. And it's the same, it's fish food. When David sprays it, it smells like dead fish for a day or so,
That's lovely.
it's got bone meal, and they make it out of all the byproducts of fish. And
That sounds like the Bob X I spray on my hostas to keep the deer from eating my hostas. It's has dried, well, it has some sort of urine in it,
Yeah,
and it smell. You don't want to spray it on a windy day.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to start fertilizing now. I mean, lots of people use Miracle Grow and other products like that, but if you
I'll
want
do
something,
that.
if you want something organic, especially for anything like the nightshades that are producing fruit, like peppers, eggplant, and tomatoes, they really need a
Mhm.
boost. The dirt just isn't gonna do it.
Our peppers look great, absolutely great. It's just the tomatoes because we've amended the soil. We had new soil brought in, and
Mhm.
it's just the tomatoes.
Yeah,
So
and that'll carry you through the first month or 6 weeks of your
Yeah.
planting period, and then you got to start
okay,
um,
I'll do
fertilizing.
that. I'll do that.
You'll see an immediate improvement. I mean, our plants were at a standstill in mid-June, kind of toward the end of June. And I said to David, "Have you fertilized?" He said no. And I said, well, he was like, it's not on the calendar yet. And I was like, yeah, but the plants are at a standstill. They're not. So he did the fertilizer, and a week later, everything was twice as big and had all kinds of flowers and fruit on it. It makes an immediate, like when you're starving and you eat a meal,
Right.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
It's Gage, me and Gage. We are not getting along. So this is the Chargy Tango worsted that I'm working with. And my gauge on size 10 needle is 16 stitches and 24 rows.
Uh-huh.
And this is not washed.
Right.
So if I wash this, is it going to shrink? No, right? It gets puffier.
Correct.
So
And
But the Target
and-
Tango shortens a tiny
and-
bit.
And the gauge is supposed to be
12
12 and a
and a half
inches.
and 22.
Correct. So
So
if it gets bigger, you will have less stitches per inch. Which, you see what I'm saying?
no,
you
'cause I'm so confused now that
All right. When you're measuring and you have 4 inches, you have 16 stitches.
yes.
If your piece grows, let's say it grows to be 5 inches, then then you would have less stitches per inch. So the same number of stitches would stretch to 5 inches. Instead, that would be less stitches per inch.
Which is what I want.
Correct.
So I should leave
going.
this, wash it, pray that it gets bigger, which gives me less.
Correct.
You see why my brain can't wrap myself around that? Bigger should mean more and shrinkage should mean less in my, mind.
Your
Your-
worldview.
Your inches will get bigger, but the number of stitches won't change. So those number of stitches will have to stretch more to cover that larger area. So there would be fewer of them per inch. Let's say you have 20 stitches there and you divide, and it currently measures 4.
Uh-huh.
I'm just hypothetical. That would be 5 stitches per inch.
Correct.
But if you wash it and it measures 5 after washing, that would only be 4 stitches per inch because the number of stitches didn't change, but the size changed.
Okay.
Just wash it.
Just
I'm
think
gonna
about,
buy
just let that sink in,
Yep,
and then do a swatch on a 10.5 needle.
yep, that's what I pulled out. Look at that. I was going in the right direction at least.
Yeah, I would do and really for your sweater, you really want to swatch in the pattern stitch. That's really going to be your telltale, because with the changing of knits and purls in the pattern stitch, you're gonna you might see a a difference too.
Okay, okay.
So does
And
that mean
Robin-
does that mean if I stop taking showers, I'm gonna shrink?
That's all I could hope. I was
I
like,
hope.
then
I
if we
hope.
eat less, we get smaller. It was just boggling my brain.
Robin, what I've learned is to try to measure your stockinette swatch before you wash it and then measure it after you wash it.
Mhm.
Because that'll give you a sense of how dramatic the increase is and
Okay,
helps you understand why. What happened? How come the numbers went that direction?
right, right.
Yeah.
And I totally measured this. You know how many times I've measured this in 2 days? I can't even tell you.
When
Till,
the
like stitches
And
was,
when the stitches swell widthwise, they will pick up depth-wise, you know, so
okay,
they'll
okay.
get wider, shorter.
okay. All right, this can
I'm
get bound up. Try
I'm
another one.
I can't remember in my stockinette swatch if it made me nervous that same way or not. I just can't remember because it was such a while ago now.
Mhm.
But I know with like I'm knitting with this I'm swatching with this Seasons yarn again. It's the same thing. It's unwashed and it's like really, really different than, you know. I'm swatching for the tank top, you guys. I didn't think I would have to, but I did. I realized I got a swatch for that. I have to work all the patterns backwards so I can make sure they all work. So I'm working all the charts upside down.
Robin, I'm with you on swatch. I have to count over and over and do the math over and over.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing a fourth swatch in the pattern just to see what I think happens with the pattern. And if I like the feeling of the fabric in the pattern with the yarn I choose.
Yeah, that's because that's huge. If we like the material it gives us.
Right, but part of me is really hoping that everything is just fine because I'm really good at some math, but I am not good at knitting math.
What are you swatching for, Audrey?
Vendage, this is
Oh.
the
Oh.
local, my local yarn, you know, mill makes this
Mhm.
one. And I'm really liking the stitch definition.
Mhm.
It's popping out, but I'm gonna wash it and see what it does when I wash it.
Yeah, that's a really fun pattern.
And you know, I've done so many of your shawls, I've gotten so I can read the stitches with my knitting lace. And then all of a sudden it was really easy to read them with cables,
Yeah.
where every other row is a rest row. I love those rest rows.
Anne, can I ask you a question about ease?
Yeah.
So I was reading the Naughty Pine pattern and it says that the sweater should have 5 to 9 inches of ease. And because I've lost some weight, I am not sure how to figure out my size with this because I can't tell from the pictures with the two models if it's designed, so like the shoulder seam, where that would be on me, say on the Elastiez, I can't tell if, because this has such greater amount of ease, if that seam's going to be more outside my shoulder here. Because
Well,
if I just,
The shoulders aren't designed to have ease, but they
oh, okay.
yeah, you shouldn't be building any ease into your shoulders. Your shoulders the shoulder width of the sweater should match your shoulder width or a little bit smaller always. But on this sweater, it does have a slight drop. So there is like a 3/4 inch on each side. So it's like if your shoulders measure 15 and the pattern says 16 or 16 and a half, that should be fine because it does.
Right, don't go down a size. Okay.
Right. So there's that. But if you measure your body and add, what did it say, 5 to 9 inches?
Yep, exactly.
Like what size have you been make? Like, what did you make recently that you made something that looked like it fit really well?
So I did a size 46 at the bust.
Mhm.
And I used to be a 46, but now I'm a 44, and I think I've gone down a little bit more this summer. So my size options are 47 or 52. And I definitely don't
Oh.
want 9 inches of ease because I'm gonna wear it over t-shirt here, you know? So I don't need like a ton of ease, but I want some ease so that it drapes properly and does what you want it to do. So
I
I
wouldn't-
was shooting for like 5 at the most.
I wouldn't go bigger than the 47. What about, and will that fit your hip?
I
Okay.
think so, yes. And I'm gonna do the cardigan.
Because
So
then you need the smaller shoulder anyway. I mean, will you still be going down a size at the shoulders?
no, I would be like right on the money at the shoulders.
Oh, so you'd be knitting the sweater all the way down the same size instead of, because usually you alter it.
Well, like, no, I only did that for the dress, for the Ulysses dress.
Oh, okay.
Because it went like over my badunkadunk butt.
And what about your home office sweater? What'd you knit that?
I did that at a 46.
And you're happy with it? Fits
Oh
nice?
yeah, the fit's perfect.
Oh, well, then that's your answer. I wouldn't go bigger than 47 then.
But then that's not enough ease though, because if I'm like a 44, that's only 3 inches of ease when I should have 5 to 9.
Right, but if you're losing weight.
Okay, that's where I was stuck. Okay.
This sweater, the ribbing in this sweater is very forgiving. I mean, I would definitely go for something slightly smaller than bigger. Yeah, I wouldn't go up to the next size. You'll be drowning in that.
Well, and I'll wear it with like a long sleeve t-shirt and that's it. I won't wear it with a lot of layers.
Let's put it this way. The samples are 42 inches. And Barb had it on the other day in the video. If you look at the video.
Oh yeah, Barb and I have similar like shoulder size.
Her shoulders are wide, but and she's got really narrow hips and wide shoulders and bust. But she's got a tummy. So I thought it fit her really nicely. And that definitely didn't have like 9 inches of ease or maybe probably not even 5 because so that would have been just about the same size as her. She's probably even a little bigger. So that definitely, it's very forgiving. Like it's not knit really tight or constricting. It's a very relaxed knit. So it stretches, it's ribbing, it's very stretchy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, totally. I'm down with that.
Yeah. So it'll contract against your body if you're smaller, but if you're bigger, it'll grow without looking like it's stretched out.
Well, and if I do the 47, it will still be great on the shoulders and the rest of the body will just go with me along in life. So that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was right in between the two and I just couldn't decide which one.
Well, and what I'm saying is, I think at your measurements, you're still a little bigger than Barb
Yeah.
in the bust. But it did fit her. I think that fit her really nicely. It makes me think.
Cool. Yeah, I've definitely lost another inch. I'm really close to 42. So last year I was 44.
That's what I say. It makes me think you can make that size.
All right, I'm just gonna go for it.
No, I mean, it makes me think you can make the 42.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to say is Barb was wearing the 42 in the video. And if you haven't looked at the video, you should and see it on her and see what you think. Now,
Okay.
you might not want a sweater that fits that way. If you want something that, you know, you can wear, and she's wearing it like a t-shirt under it, not like a sweater or anything, not a turtleneck or
yeah, yeah,
anything
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So if you haven't looked at the video, I would. It's on Instagram and it's on probably
Okay,
on
I
Facebook.
will.
Yeah. And I think it's on YouTube as well. And just see what you think.
Okay, that's really good advice. I mean, I never would have even considered that size. So I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Right. Exactly. And and often you make things and then you're like, I should have made a smaller one. And I hate for that to happen again. You know,
Right, exactly, exactly. Okay.
the thing about
Right,
this
it's
sweater,
interesting because in your sweater patterns, you don't change the shoulders for ease. You do the rest of it, but not really the shoulders.
never,
that-
I mean, no, you don't. Yeah, no, the shoulders the shoulders are sized apart. So there's a range, but when I'm fitting a sweater, I never add ease in the shoulders. You always either use the shoulder width or less. So like when you go back into your notes for sweater fitness,
Right.
I emphasize several times that the measurement that we discussed for you on your measurement chart is the
all that- Right,
It- the largest that you should ever make. And then it's fine if you have to pick a size that's slightly smaller in the shoulders, it will stretch, but you should never make your shoulders bigger than what you measure. Unless it's a drop shoulder, you know, I mean, unless that's a style.
right. Well, so like my Aztec mazes, that was a size bigger to accommodate my bigger size, but was way too big on the shoulders. And now when I wear it, you could totally see it's just totally the wrong size.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is super helpful. Thank you.
And even your Elastiez was a little big in the shoulders. That's like a really good example of one that fits you really well, except it's a little big in the
It's
shoulders.
just that little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And the other thing about this is that with the the reason I'm suggesting that possibly you might want to go with a smaller size is that it is a drop shoulder. So you have plenty of room there to go to that smaller size. And the sleeve tends to be a little too long if the shoulders are too big, which is the problem for me with those samples. I love them, but when I put them on, I look like I'm drowning in them. I really
Okay.
need, if I want myself a knotty pine, I should knit myself a smaller size than that.
Well, it's funny. We do have a Rhinebeck sweater knit along coming up. So
Funny that I have things to design though. So we'll see. We'll see. I might make one later in the winter. We have a new secret yarn coming in that I might knit one with.
So
That's-
just to let you know, Ian, this business, the secret yarn business, so it has not been lost on Al. And now, because he hears you, we now have secret chicken recipe number 3 and secret pork marinade number 4. And I'm like, what? So he said to me when I came home from work, oh, we're having secret recipe number 3, but on the chicken this time. And then when we sat down to eat, he said, you know that this is Ian's fault, don't you?
I'm waiting for him to really wake up and put in an order to surprise his wife for a secret yarn number, whatever,
Yeah,
with her personal shopper.
right. That's right. And now I'm totally confused about what size Naughty Pine to make. Thank you very much. Because I was gonna make that the 42 size. Because I measure a 38.
Uh-huh.
So 42, 38, 39.
Yeah,
April,
that should be fine.
so-
I mean, I
right?
would wear the 42 as an oversized sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And I only measure 33. So
Mhm.
if that helps you, you know.
So if the questions are done for now, maybe we could do a show and tell. I know some people want to show off their beautiful
Just say, let's steer the
creations.
conversation back to the current knit along. Well, first of all, I have an announcement to make. Does
All
everybody
right,
want,
you go ahead.
does everybody want to know the winner of the naming contest?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so 78 people voted on the name. And let's see, the third runner-up was Journey Home. The second runner-up, do you want me to go through all the names just to make sure everybody understands what they are? The names were Willapalooza, Rough Stripes, Journey Home, Harmony, and Pick of the Litter. So the third runner-up was Journey Home. The second runner-up, Pick of the Litter. And the winner is Rough Stripes.
Yay!
R-U-F-F. Was that you,
That's the
Jose?
one I voted for.
Oh,
Me
okay.
too.
But who came up with it? I don't know who suggested it. Anybody know? Well, whoever it was wins the naming contest. So it will be called
Nice.
Rough Stripes. So
Cool.
Robin, you look ready to show us your finished project.
Here
Oh,
is my long scarf. You know
very
how I love
beautiful.
to model things on my arms. So there we have it. It's lovely.
Very nice.
it really is. It's very
It's
lovely.
so nice. And I'm gonna do like Sherry, I'm gonna put the wires. I zoomed in so I could see and I saw, oh, she's got the wires. So I'm gonna do that on my edges.
Well, Anne said she blocked hers on wires too, just to get the edges nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I wasn't trying to like get to the patterns specifically, the pattern size, I would have stretched it too. You know, I would have stretched it a little bit. But the wires just definitely help keep the edges straight.
And you put them on the shorter edges too, correct?
All four edges, yes.
Yep. Okay, very good.
Now,
Audrey?
And Sherry, for the scarf, I did pin the scarf. I didn't have to stretch it, but I did pin it down. It was the blanket that I didn't pin because I wanted it to shrink a little bit.
Go ahead, Audrey. You look like you're wearing yours.
Yeah, I set it out. This is the large cowl. And I did not use the wires because I didn't want to have a set line. I had to keep moving it around and, you know, put the paper towel holders on the edge so I didn't get a line. And it's a little longer than the pattern stated, though I didn't run out of any yarns. I had yarns left over and I love it. And it sits in my knitting zone and I get wonderful compliments from everyone who sees it.
I loved when Melissa put hers on and demonstrated using it as a head and a neck wrap. That was really a good idea.
That's the reason I tried the large cowl, because it rains a bit here in the Northwest. And sometimes you don't know it will be raining when you leave the house, and it does start to rain. And I'm sure it will absorb a lot of moisture before I get wet.
Sounds good. So you can either put up your hand to show your project, or I can look around to see who's ready to show.
Or it could be a
It's hard-
chaotic.
It's hard on
scroll.
one screen. Yeah, just put your hand up and. Okay, Lucy, go ahead.
I'm working on it still. It's, I'm in the second series of stripes on this and I love it. It's just
Is this the
gorgeous.
blanket you're making?
It's making, yeah, the full blanket.
Nice.
So
Very
I have
nice.
some catching up to do.
Lucy, I got your piece of yarn today in the mail. It's
Oh,
the
boy, that took a while.
It's the Polworth.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's sport weight, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What scarf did you knit with it? I forget.
I haven't done anything with it yet because I was trying to figure out what it was.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's the Polworth Sport.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead, Jean. Is that your shawl that you picked up?
Yes, and it looks like
Oh.
everyone else's.
It doesn't matter. We want to see.
And I didn't use wires because I really did want to see what it would do. And you had brought that up about seeing just what it would do without too much effort. And it's amazing how straight it was and
Yeah.
easy to, it was just really easy. So that's that. But then I also I'm making a cowl.
Oh, nice.
Just because I had yarn left and then I had gotten more of the Kent. And so I'm just about 3 rows or 4 rows away from being done.
That's so
So-
cute with the little white stripes.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you. It's fun. So that's it.
All right. Who else wants to show their lovely? Go ahead, Christy.
This is the large cowl. And I have not blocked it yet or woven in the ends, but I just love it. I just absolutely love it. It is everything I'd hoped it would be and more. So
Your stitch definition was really noticeable, even unwashed. It looked great.
oh, really? Good. Well, thank you.
Very nice.
When does school start again, Christy?
You know, every day I expect a letter from my agency about when, our start date is, and every day it doesn't come. So it's just a big guess at this point. I'm thinking maybe the 15th will be my first day back, but it's not full tilt boogie right then, Yeah, we have a couple things that week, and then the next week is pre-service. And then the following week is when we start having kiddos. So, but I'm thinking around the 15th. But I went ahead and got my COVID booster. I put off getting my second COVID booster. I wanted to do it closer to the beginning of the school year because I wanted it, to be in effect when I might need it more. So I went ahead and got that today. And so I'm ready. Except I don't want my knitting time to be cut into, by work. I resent that. I resent it.
Well, you
You got
could
every-
you could still join us and knit a small thing like a hat or something. And then or a scarf.
I'm thinking of maybe doing the, like I said, the home office cardigan in stone soup, like the middle color of the 3, of the 5 shades. So yeah,
Lovely.
we'll see.
And
Amy,
I
did you want to show yours? Amy has left the building.
Oh, I've
have-
got
and I
mine.
have to, oh,
Yes.
There's mine.
Wow. Oh, Janet, that's pretty.
Nice. And I have a little bit left over of all of them, so I think I'm going to make a headband.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I'm excited about this. I know I'm jumping the gun and I apologize. This is the beginning of the shawl.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Pretty. Yeah, I'm excited.
So
How is it knitting with seasons?
I like it a lot.
Good.
I like it a
I
lot.
just ordered some for a sweater this morning.
There you go.
Amy,
so I did the small throw, the little lap blanket.
That looks
Yeah.
like a large throw.
It's not. It's not. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than the pattern, but not much.
Looks good.
And it really turned out nice. It blocked really nice. It has such straight lines. And it's just beautiful. The more I look at it, the happier it makes me. So,
Good.
yep, I enjoyed it.
Cherie, have you got something you want to show or?
I do. It's blocked. I took it off the wires this evening, so.
Do show us. Oh, there's your beautiful blanket statement.
Oh, yeah. So this is the wrap.
My,
Oh, Sherry, that's so pretty.
nice.
Oh, nice.
Gonna be,
Very nice.
gonna be so nice in the winter.
Yeah.
Really well.
Oh, yeah.
At the office when it's cold in those churches, that'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well,
Very good.
well appreciated. It's a great pattern. I love it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that looks so pretty over like a top to toe beige or something, or, like a solid color from top to
If
down.
somebody maybe had a solid black t-shirt dress or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
if they did. Yeah.
California Ann, you got something to show us?
I do actually. I think I'm unmuted. Yeah. I have been making the blanket in the length of the wrap. So I am adding width by using up my Icelandic here at the
there you
middle.
go.
Nice.
So you can see, I mean, everything else looks the same as everybody else's, but I had enough Icelandic to make a nice thick thing here because since I'm making it longer to get it wide enough, I needed to add some more yarn. So it's going to be about 5 feet long.
Nice.
Last time I took it off the needles because I had to rip something out.
That'll be cozy.
Oh, I think so. I think we'll get a lot
Yeah.
of use out of it in the winter here.
Or you can plug the phone in.
And I'm just doing stockinette on the Icelandic because it doesn't have the same kind of stitch definition that the other yarns do. So I thought, well, a
Yeah.
nice plain band in the middle.
Yeah, there aren't any, so that's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Karen, you're walking about. Is there something you want to show us?
You need to
Yes, unmute. There you go.
Yeah, I unmuted. I'm actually just walking. I just got home. So I am only about, I just finished 3. So I'm only to about here with the long scarf is what mine is.
Very nice.
So I was listening to some of the questions you guys had the other day and I'm thinking, oh, I'm hoping I can get a hold of somebody to ask questions later. If I can't quite figure out the pattern for 5, because that was looking a little complicated to me.
It's
with-
not complicated.
Yeah.
It's really not. They're all really easy.
Okay.
I think what we were commenting on is that we never pay attention enough.
Okay.
You got to be able to count.
I can count. So-
And
And you
I
should
gotta
be
tell
fine.
you,
And if you're a person who uses stitch markers between every repeat, it's gonna
Yeah.
throw you off. So get rid of your stitch markers.
Except for the ones that are she calls on, which are just a couple.
And you have to be able to forgive the
Yeah.
2 backward purl stitches, purl through back loop.
Okay.
Purl 2 together through back loop. I found that.
There's a ton of video demonstrations online that you can just look up for that though.
Yeah.
Oh, I know how to do it. I just don't like it.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't like that one either. So.
Donna, did you want to show yours?
As a tax. So
I'm making the big blanket. I don't have it right here in front of me. and I did number 5 and was going to continue and reverse the direction, you know, do the first 12 rows and then reverse the direction. And I screwed it up. So it ended up being
Whoops.
ripped out and trying again. And so I think I ripped it out a third time. So I'm on number 5.
This is the man.
You need to maybe like cast on a swatch and work it out over a little swatch so that you're not having to do it on your big blanket.
Well, that, and I need to add a lifeline when I do
Yeah.
that.
All things that I never do, by the way.
Right. After I ripped out, I thought, why didn't I add a lifeline? But whatever. So I'm thinking as I try and reverse, I need to do SSKs instead of knit 2 together. So that's work in progress, but this will be a nice blanket for the winter.
Yeah, I mean, essentially what you want to do is more like pattern number 1. But pattern number 5 is like a double version of that same zigzag. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
You know how number 1 goes in one direction and then goes in the other direction?
Yeah. Okay.
You can do the same thing with number 5, except it's like a double line, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and yeah. So I need to add a lifeline and do a better job counting. But enjoyed
That's like a complete life lesson right there. I need
exactly.
to add a lifeline and do a better job counting.
Yes. There you go.
Sue, have you got something you'd like to show us? Oh, there's a few Sues. Well, Sue without a last name there. There you go. That's the one.
Without a last name, I could put more on my name, I think.
No, that's fine. I just noticed below you on my screen is Susan, and then below Susan is Sue. And I went, oh, I need to be more specific.
Well, I'll go. I worked in a place where we had 3 Sues and I was Sue 1 and we had a Sue 2. And so I'm used to this. I'm a little more than halfway on my wrap. So one of the things that, yeah, I'm doing a mirror to go back for the last 5. And it's been really fun to pick patterns that are similar, but slightly different. So it's like a sampler.
Yeah.
Oh,
Loving
nice.
it.
It'll be nice to see when it's done.
Yeah. Just have to
That's
watch my
turning out
count.
to be a popular color strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm calling it my wrap blanket though, because I think it's going to be long enough to cover my legs when I've got it wrapped around my shoulders.
All right. That's good. Karen W.
I'm finishing up clue number 4. So it's turning out pretty well. I'm really pretty pleased with it. So
Nice. I mean, I know they're all the same project, but it doesn't get old. They're all beautiful
No, I know.
at all the different stages. I don't, yeah. Linda. You're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm doing the lap blanket and my far
Ooh.
enough back. I'm putting an extra, doing 3 of those cream colored stripes. So that's the 6th stripe, and I'm about to start the 7th stripe, which will be, I think it's going to be the light gray. Is it CMV, CVM, whatever. And I'm really enjoying coming back to the yarns and feeling them, you know, a second time and saying, oh, this is really nice. So I've the Corriedale, and then I've got the Kenton here as a border, and yeah, it's been fun.
Cool.
Yeah, that is a cool feature that you get to, after knowing more about it, you get to feel it again and
Yeah.
again.
Appreciate it, yeah. Susan? Susan, oh, I'm not even gonna attempt that.
And that's me.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
Well, why don't you educate us? How do you?
Yeah, is this Dutch?
No, no, Croatian. The J is silent in most pronunciations. It's really a long I, but you know, in most modern pronunciations. So you just forget it. It's Flanic.
Flanic. Oh,
Mhm.
that's how I
Yeah.
would have pronounced it. But the Y, the
J
yeah.
throws everyone off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it becomes Flanagan and all other kinds of names, which is fine. My maiden name wasn't much better, so I'm used to it. I did the small throw. It's being blocked right now. My goal, once I went through the first 5 stripes, was to utilize all the yarn. So it became my own creation, not Anne's any longer. With extra transitional rows and depending on how much yarn I had left. And I just loved playing around with it and the different patterns. Totally enjoyed it.
Keep the tickets. I don't want tickets.
Nice, very nice. Wendy, maybe you can show us next time.
I'm in Eugene, Oregon, where we're having a heat wave, and so I left my blanket at my house on the coast.
Don't blame you.
So I added a bunch of stash yarn. I'm about halfway through, and I also like Sue, I'm going a little rogue on the stripes that are stash yarn, and so it's been fun. Although very difficult because Anne's designs are so elegant and so simple, and my attempts always end up more complicated and require more fudging, and then I didn't swatch enough to make it symmetrical, but it's fine. I'm making a blanket. I'm making a large lap blanket. I think I cast on in between the lap blanket and the next size, and it'll have, in each stripe I've used all the yarn. So I've used yarn 1 and 2 and 4 from the wool pack that and I've enjoyed all of them, and I've swatched with yarn 5, and see, I think I've got 2 more stripes to go before I get to use yarn 3. I've got them all set out in a box, and I haven't thought ahead to other patterns, but I started with the first extra stash yarn I put in. I just added some garter ridges in that pattern with the holes. And then I'm like, oh, I should do that for all my stash yarns. I'll just ad lib. So I'm enjoying it a lot, and I really enjoy the patterns. I'm casting on for a cowl with the chicken coop cowl from one of the B&K knit collections, I think, at the moment, which is small.
Yeah.
And it works with 90-degree heat.
Yeah.
And no AC because we don't usually get hot weather.
All right. Karen.
Please excuse my voice because unfortunately I'm having a tooth taken out tomorrow and I have no dentures in. First of all, I have enjoyed it. Okay.
Nice.
I am doing a wrap size. I duplicated the patterns. So when I'll put the light on so you can see better. I just don't want you to see me. So I tried to alternate light and dark. When there was extra time, I quickly knit the second ball. I actually had a dog that just left that's a schnoodle that is brindle colored. So if you put him next to the wrap, you can't see him because he blends in. And I am enjoying it. Had a lot of trouble with the dark color in the stone soup because of my own eyes, age, I don't know, but I had to spend much more time focusing on the stitch and where I would make a mistake and that, but it's good.
Yeah. Excellent. Elizabeth.
I have a question first. And I hope you can hear me. We're having a monsoon downpour here right now. Someone mentioned on clue 5, purling through 2 through the back loop, but I don't remember ever doing that on clue 5. So I'm wondering if I've screwed up somehow.
Not on
And if
5, on 1.
On 1, okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that
Well,
makes better sense.
Yeah, what we were talking about is that somebody, which person was it, was trying to create a pattern going, Donna was trying to create in clue 5 a switch the pattern to
Got
go
it.
the other way.
Got
And
it.
when she does that, she will have to, no, she won't have to incorporate that, but we got off track anyway, talking about clue 1.
Well, I'm making the small lap blanket and I've gone up through clue 5. And then what I am doing is, here's my clue 5. And then I just started back 4, 3, 2. And if I was thinking, I would have done 2 stripes of clue 5, but I wasn't thinking as usual. And so it's just going to be in reverse. And then I'll throw a clue 5 in at the end before I do my final clue 1. But I'm weighing my yarn and using as much as I can in these last 5 stripes.
You
So
might
that
feel
means-
like you might feel like it's wide enough by the time that you don't need the clue 5 over again.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
Yep. But I am enjoying it. I love it. I love the yarn. I wish I had a sweater's quantity of each one.
I'm doing the same thing. I did remember to duplicate 5, but what I did was I reversed it. So I don't know if you can see, it looks like an arrow.
Oh, Donna needs your help. That's what
Donna
Donna
needs my help.
Yes, yes, I need your help.
Donna's trying to do the same thing and she's having difficulty. So maybe you two could get together offline and you could tell her.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Nice.
Donna, I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Sheila. Catherine.
I have my Folkstone. I don't have it done because I have to pick which pattern to do as a final repeat, and I haven't decided yet. But I did my cowl in Folkstone, and I love it. And I'll probably finish it this weekend. So
You inspired me to do it.
yeah, hopefully I'll try and get it done before Saturday so I could show you it blocked.
Looks
but
beautiful.
I
I kind of like it with just one
block it
color.
yet. Yeah, I kind of don't want to block it yet because I love picking it up and smelling it.
Yeah.
I'm a real weirdo. But I love the sheepy smell.
We've all sniffed our yarn in the privacy of our knitting spaces. Look.
Yeah, I did a stockinette swatch of the Targhee worsted for the Naughty Pine, and it's not quite dry yet, so I can't count. But holy cow, you guys. I love the Targhee Sport, but this is like, oh, dreamy.
It's pretty
What
cushy.
needle size did you use?
This is a 10 and I don't have 9s. I had to order some 9s. So I'm waiting for them to come to swatch on the 9s. But we'll see. I mean, it changed a lot as I expected when I soaked it. And
so it's too loose?
No, I haven't counted yet because it's not dry yet.
Oh.
'Cause I use size 2 just because I liked size 2s and I wondered what it would do. And then I blocked
Size
it
2?
and it, yeah, and it
Target
actually
worsted?
is, no, oh, so that's the Target worsted? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, forget it. It's, I'm sorry, it was the Barn Box yarn.
Oh,
season.
sorry.
The fingering.
No, this
So
is
yeah,
the Target
sorry.
worsted.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
okay.
beautiful.
You guys can see
That's-
how
that's what's
plumpy
good.
it
Yeah.
gets.
Yeah.
And that's not even dry yet. Oh, it's just
The
yum.
seasons is, it's surprisingly explosive when it blocks. Like for the shawl, I initially swatched on size 6 needles with every confidence that I had exactly the right needle. And when the fabric was washed and dried, it was just too stiff for a shawl. So I went up to the 7s. And, you know, knitting with the 7, it felt really loose, but then when I blocked it, it was perfect. So, I mean, for the shawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swatched my Barn Box yarn for the sweater on size 5s, and it was too tight after it had been washed. So I'm going up on a 6 for my next swatch.
What sweater are you knitting?
I'm going to make the salt and pepper.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have some of that Mother's Day purple yarn for the contrast. I thought that was nice.
Carrie?
Hi.
Hi.
We missed you, Carrie.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. I missed you too. It's been very busy. So but I did have a chance to make the small cowl, but
Oh,
I have 5
nice.
stripes.
Oh, it's
And,
so cute.
I did not get the kit, so this is all leftover yarn.
Nice.
Great.
Looks
Yeah.
beautiful.
The leftover yarns multiply, I swear,
Oh yeah, I could make like 3 or 4 more.
right?
Yeah.
No, I made that whole wrap out of leftover yarn. And the
Wow.
tub is just as full as it was before I started,
It's like the endless, bottomless.
right?
Yeah.
I made my small cowl sample out of leftovers from the scarf, and I still had, and it didn't use the balls didn't get any smaller. And I think I only used up like 1 yarn.
What
So
is this magic yarn you have provided us?
Yeah.
you know, I'm not. I mean, I feel like our yarns are like that though. Like the stone soup skeins just go on and on and on and on. Like, you know, I'm knitting the Wild Phillies out of the Jacob, and I'm really close to the armhole bind off on the second front, and I started a new skein for the fronts. So I've knit one front and the other, and I'm getting ready to get to that really small little shoulder area. And this is like, I have this much left. It's hardly used any of this fall. It's crazy. So, you know, it's cost effective anyway.
All right. Let me see, where was I? Okay, Julie.
Julie P. or Julie?
Julie P. I
Okay,
don't think the other
sometimes there's
Julie, oh
another
yeah,
one.
there's another
Sometimes
one, but
there's
she's,
another one, and I can't see everybody. I
Yeah.
did the large owl. And unlike the rest of you, my yarn doesn't seem to multiply because I ran out of the final color about 50 stitches before the end. And I was weighing it every row. I don't know, maybe my scale's not super accurate, but I was weighing it every row and I was convinced I was going to have enough. And so I had bound it off loosely with like a 2 size bigger needle, so a 10. And I got to the last 50 stitches and I only had like this much yarn left. So I took the whole last 2 rows out, the garter and the bind off. And I used a size 7. So I used 1 needle smaller just to do the final garter row. And then I bound it off with a 9. And I had that much left. So I won at Yarn Chicken for that. And then, so then when I washed it and blocked it, I didn't have to do a lot. I just kind of stretched out that last row a little bit more. The rest of it I just laid. I didn't really pin it or anything, but I think the dimensions are fine. It doesn't look smaller. It actually looks a little bigger. So maybe my gauge was getting bigger as I was going along.
Yeah, I did because that last pattern wants to spread out a little bit, and even though you do a decrease before you start that last stripe, I still bound off pretty firmly just to make sure it wasn't lettucing on the edge.
Yeah, well, it said bind off loosely. So
just because so many people don't.
Yeah, okay. So like I normally try to bind off with kind of normal tension, and I was deliberately trying not to, so I went up to needle sizes. And
written pattern, I don't have any idea what stripe you're going to be ending on, because not everybody's ending on the 5th one. So
yeah,
you have to kind of write it, you know.
Yeah. So for the Rhinebeck sweater, I just saw the pattern was out today. If I already paid for my wool along, I haven't gotten an email yet saying you can pick the pattern. So all these people that already seem like they have the pattern, did they just buy it or did they get it as part of the?
Good question. When you bought your wool along, you get a free pattern download with
No,
it.
but I didn't
Yeah,
get
I'm thinking, those guys. So
It
so for-
doesn't, Anne, in your email, it says August 2nd is when you'll be able to choose your free pattern.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So
Yeah.
But you can still go online and see all the gauge information and everything. It's all on the pattern page.
Okay, so that's what people are doing. They're not actually. Okay,
I don't know
that's
I don't know what people are doing, but that's you know.
I went ahead and
That's
bought
what
the
you can
pattern.
do. Yeah, that's what you can do.
I went ahead and bought the pattern because I'm impatient, but there are other sweater patterns that I don't own that I want to buy. So I'm just going to use my coupon to do that.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I have, I have tons of patterns that I want to buy, but I just was curious if I had missed out an email or something that was supposed to have come, but I thought usually they emailed us kind of closer to the start of it. So.
Yeah, they usually have the coupon in the email with the Zoom link and all that stuff. So
okay.
But I was just super impatient, so it's pretty normal for me to do that. Plus, I don't mind paying in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just buying
Well,
another
I have all
pattern.
the yarn. Yeah, and I have all the yarn sitting there. So instead, I started a different Anne project. I started the Peony Moon with the goat yarn, and then I'm also still working on this Hypnotic with two of special yarns. So
That looks really nice.
yeah, it's the special yarn from February and the one from Mother's Day.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Very
I think hopefully I have enough.
And that Hypnotic had a little moment when we brought it to Maryland, and we had it on the dress form with the interlocking pullover, and so many people were attracted. And we had the little one that's in titanium white and pumice stone soup, that combination, and just one person after another wanted that scarf,
Yeah. Well, this one looks good with the color changes.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
pink and purple, and then the purple background. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty.
Very nice. Geeka.
So I'm doing the blanket, the big throw, but it's downstairs, and I've just done the first 5 and I haven't figured out what to do next, but always a little ahead and a little behind or something or other. I am working on Dandelion Honey, hoping that I'll make good progress on it before I start the Rhinebeck sweater, but I'm really happy with it. I'm in the middle of a rose, so it's hard to show it, but there you go. That's where I am. I'm getting close to where you join the body to the sleeves.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sue Manny. Yeah.
Hi, I'm doing the lap robe and having a good
time with it. It's actually got a home. It's not finished yet, but it has a home.
Nice.
Comes up. And by the way, Wendy, I'm just down the road from you in Medford, so hi. But in any case, my daughter comes up and sees the progress and just has a wonderful tactile experience feeling of the yarn. She's in love with the Bare Naked yarns. And she doesn't knit, but she's got me. And
She's knit worthy.
oh, yes. And so it's going to her as soon as it's done. Now, the fun part of it is that I resurrected this very old book, Trading Patterns. So I have been playing with all the different types of patterns to use up the rest of the yarn for it. And one of the ones that has been fun was an Italian rib stitch, which has yarn overs, and it's almost lacy like, but it just feels so delicious. So.
Looks good. Lucky
Thank you.
daughter.
Oh yeah. She's got a couple of, she has, I've gotten the pattern for the mitts. I'm trying to think what the title of it is, but it's a lace fingerless mitt from Anne, and the yarn to go with it. And then I got her a headband pattern too from Anne with the yarn. So Christmas will be good for her.
Yes, indeed. And it'll be enjoyable for you to make all that.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Sue, I was in your town yesterday. I was doing a ride along with Mercy Flights. They have a program that does the same kind of work that I do. So it was hot there yesterday.
Oh, it's hot here today again.
Yeah. I can't wait to go back to where I regularly work. It's in the 60s at the coast. So.
Oh, sounds delicious.
Yes.
Karen T.
Okay, hi. I'm doing the big blanket, and I'm going to try some different stitch patterns too. The first one I tried, it's kind of like a diagonal garter rib, but on this yarn, it barely looks like a shadow. It's not very distinct. But that's okay.
It might pop when you wash it though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm having fun with that. And I'm probably gonna add 6 inches of width. I guess it's literally actually the width, but
length. Yeah.
Well, the width is this way, so
yeah.
But I could use it as the length, I guess, if I add enough of it. So yeah.
You're gonna add some stripes to make it wider.
Yeah, exactly. And I love this yarn. It's really wonderful. All of it. Great. Thank you.
Julie, we see you.
I'm assuming you're talking about me, Julie.
Yes, you were incognito.
Well, I just got home from getting my hair cut, and I was like running around the house trying to get on. So I did the lap gan, and actually, I don't know, can you see it? Maybe I'll hold it this way. But the middle, I just did the middle, like 4 and 5. I just did longer. And then I just went backwards with 3, 2, and 1.
Nice.
Got a dog
Very
barking,
nice.
Sorry. Yeah. So I just kind of did it backwards, and so I've got the same pattern on either side of the middle. So
yeah,
loved it. I bought a bunch of the yarn in sweater quantities. So yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah, I love it.
Are you gonna join the sweater knit along? What are you gonna knit?
Yeah. Yep. I'm not sure if I'm gonna knit the new pattern. I've planned on doing that, or I got the I forget the other one that I was thinking about. I can't remember the name of it, but I bought the pattern, so I'll be doing one of your patterns, Anne.
Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Karen.
And I,
Whoops.
Oh.
Go. Or
Nope,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Julie. I'll let
Nope,
you
I'm
finish your
done.
thought. Karen? Karen with the blue shirt.
Me, oh, I'm back. I left and came back. So yeah, I'd like to do the sweater knit along, but I'm just so busy. I couldn't even keep up with this one. So I'm gonna have to wait until maybe this winter when I don't have horse shows going on that take me away for a week at a time. So
A lot of people start and then they finish in the next knit along because, you know, as long as you're, yeah, exactly. I'm doing it. I'm finishing my sweater in the sweater knit along.
Okay.
It's already on the needles, so.
yeah.
It took me 3 knit
So
alongs.
don't
to
feel
finish mine.
pressured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It took me 3 full knit alongs to finish my Rhinebeck sweater last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it until March. So
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a
my
Rhinebeck
other problem
every
is
year.
I'm on call on Wednesday nights, so I get called away, and then Saturdays I usually have to go to the farm where I have my horse to ride. So timing is not good for me with these. So
All right. Well, thank you. So let's see if I missed anybody. Have I missed anybody? I think Sally, if I can find you again there, Sally. I don't think we've heard from you.
No, whoops,
Whoops.
hit the wrong button. I have lots going on tonight. My baby granddaughter's coming tomorrow. She's only a month old. I'm so
Ooh.
excited. Well, I did the long scarf and I played yarn chicken binding off and didn't have enough.
Oh.
So I immediately called my sister, who is Susan. And as usual, I always call and say, help, help. I need the rest of your stone soup. And she said, too late. I used it all up. So I said, okay, okay. And so I just ordered another skein and I'm going to finish it off. And then I thought I'll make a hat to go with it. And I can use some of the other yarns that I have left over. And I think it'll make it really cool.
You can make
Win-win.
a hat for the baby. You can make a hat for the baby and she can bring it home with her.
There we go.
yeah, I got brave on my third one, and I put the extra rows in it and I ran out. So I had a little left from the first color. I just used it.
And I did sign up for the Rhinebeck sweater knit along. I'm excited about that. I bought the pattern Firefly at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. And I think I'm going to start that.
Nice.
Yeah.
What yarn are you going to use?
I bought this. This is the Modern Deco lace.
Nice.
So it'll be something totally different feel and from this, you know, it'll be fun. It'll be something different and easy to see at night.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I mean, it wasn't hard to order another skein. And I ordered a blanket worth for my husband as well. I decided to make a blanket for him instead of a sweater. And for Christmas. So I've got that to get going too. But
That's a nice gift.
I think he'll use it more than the sweater. So we'll see.
Nice. Well, enjoy that grandbaby.
Thank you.
Okay, have we seen everybody's, I think so.
I just want to say too, I think this is the very first knit along where at the end, on the last day, we have like the same number of people as in the beginning. 30 people
been
on the last,
consistent.
a lot. It has
Yeah.
been.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a perfect, the mixture of listening and hearing about the yarns and the discovery of them by everybody weekly basis, it was just really fun to watch and to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I
Can I
forgot
ask
to
what-
tell you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask, what were the yarns again in order? Because I want to go back and listen, but I just wanted to get them in order. So
Yeah, and the labels are available on our website for free. You can download the labels for your yarns. So it was the Kent DK in Folkstone, the color Folkstone, then the Corriedale in Natural Cream, then the Perrendale in we just called it Natural Dark, then CVM in light gray, natural light gray, and then the Stone Soup DK in River Rock.
Is there anything you're getting really low on, Anne, with those yarns?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Barb told me that the Perrendale has been the most popular, which surprised me, you know, going into it. I thought that would be maybe not the favorite, but it is the favorite. But they're I think we're still pretty well stocked. I don't know for sure. Well,
I was
actually,
just curious before they get rolled out to the public.
yeah, which is going to start happening next week. We're going to start introducing them to everyone else in the newsletter next week. So let me just go on my website. Oh my God, I have so many tabs open.
While you're doing that, I was going to tell you all on Saturday, I was at my daughter's house and both my little granddaughters were there. And the 4.5-year-old came up and said, "Coming along nicely." When she looked at my throat. Thought y'all would appreciate that.
Cute.
That's so cute.
He's going to be a knitter.
Yeah.
It'd be something.
Yeah, a boss anyway.
It's either going to be a knitter or be president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Or we
she's
could
going to
use
be
her.
in charge of something.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Preschoolers are so interested in knitting. I work at a preschool, and so I went into the classroom one day with quite a few things, and there I had about 6 kids who sat there for an hour with me, 3 boys and 3 girls, who were absolutely fascinated. And I took different sizes of needles so that they could see, you know, and circular needles, and then, you know, sock needles and other needles. And I also took some crochet hand warmers in there, and they were just so flabbergasted, and they treated everything completely respectfully. No problems with that at all. And I was just so amazed. So I've been making something, a baby Afghan for my daughter's friend's baby. And I told him when I finish it, I'll bring it in. So I went back in again. And again, I had 4 kids for an hour. It was just amazing how curious they are, and they wanted to try to crochet, you know, and I just couldn't believe the wonderful observations and questions they had. And it was such an incredible time, just an incredible time. Preschoolers are, but I could pick out some future needle arts people for sure. Yeah.
It's a good way to teach them math too. There was a private school close to where I live that taught knitting, and part of it was to teach the math principles behind what we do in knitting. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Waldorf curriculum uses knitting, and I think even if I'm not mistaken, the Montessori has some crafty stuff that they do for the same purposes.
It was a Waldorf school.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually do teach knitting in kindergarten and 5th grade, so that for math,
Yeah.
initial math readiness, and then in 5th grade there's a shift in math curriculum when they go to higher math, and they do it again for that. It looks like in the 2-ounce skeins from the wool along, we have anywhere from 130 to 190 of different things. So the lowest stock we have is in the CVM, and the highest stock we have is in the Parendale. And the Parendale and the Corriedale, I think, are like more in the higher end.
And the CVM is number 4, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And just keep in mind that they're 2-ounce skeins, so you have to figure.
Pull your numbers.
Yeah. Like you might need a shocking number of skeins, but they are only 2 ounces. Yeah, we're all very excited about next year, doing something next year again.
Something like this, yay.
Yeah, the whole thing again, but a different array of fibers and
wonderful.
Yeah,
Anne, I'm sorry I joined late. Have you already named the pattern yet, or is that still?
Yeah, then the name is Rough Stripes.
Oh, good. That's one I voted for.
Well,
Thank you.
42% of respondents voted for that, so yeah. I'm glad
Have
we
you told Ramona yet how much money you've raised?
we don't have a final number exactly yet, so we're collecting money until the 1st, and I honestly, like, I don't know exactly where we are. The last time we checked in with Linda, I think it was around 4,500. I'm hoping that we got closer to our goal than that, but we'll see. And she'll be excited no matter how much it is, but it is a big deal for her, so. She has, like, you know how people are, they have no clue, like knitters make a lot of positive change in the world, and most people don't realize how many knitters there are and how much we are able to do with small donations. You know, we can get a lot of people excited with $5 and $10 donations to make a big kind of impact. So this is my swatch so far for the top. So I've got,
oh, yay.
I've got the edge pretty well replicated. It's the lines are going in a different direction, like I was saying, but just turning the charts upside down seems to be working out pretty well with the other patterns.
I know somebody who might be very happy to test it back.
Oh, okay.
That's the second time you've said that.
I thought I better get in there first, man. I need that top.
Pretty cute.
The thing about it is, like, the I won't have sizes until like the end, you know what I mean? Until I'm almost ready to publish it. So, but
I'm just giving you grief. Please don't, you know, it's fine. I'm
When
not
I
gonna
have-
die from lack of that top.
when I
Not in
No,
the short
trust me,
term anyway.
as soon as I have sizes, I am putting it in your sweaty, hot little hands.
Excellent.
It worked.
I have a question. You might have covered it because I came in late too, but for the remainder, like in between the knit-alongs, will we have the same Zoom link
Yeah.
that we have now? Okay.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one open, and you can just pop in. So we'll still be here Wednesday and Saturday. I mean, how much further do we have? It's only like So we start on the 6th. It's only like 10 days away that we start the next one. So it's only one more Saturday and one more Wednesday at this link. And then we will, and we'll create a new link for the next one.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, it's always nice to start a fresh one. I mean, this has been so much fun.
I've never done a knit along before, but boy, I was really lucky to start with this one.
Yeah.
It was a college course, plus, you know, lots of wonderful people that I've gotten to meet, and your expertise, Anne, of course, and the yarns. When I talk to people about it, I want to get my friends, you know, my other knitting friends to do it too. They just sit there with their mouths open like, well, that's not like any knit along I've ever done before. And I go, I think it's extremely special. And when they feel my yarns, it's like, oh, but I want to generate some interest because it'd be fun to have, you know, some more people from Bellingham, Washington and the environs.
Yeah. And, you know, during this year, so we do the Rhinebeck sweater knit along, then we do the Festivus red scarf knit along, which is, you know, like holiday gifts and accessories. Then in January, we do another sweater knit along. And then in March, we start an accessory knit along. And then we'll do the wool along next summer again. So
wonderful.
So there's like 4 or 5 per year. And I'm thinking hard about next year what to do. Do we want to change yarn weights or just keep it DK? Was that like the best thing? Or do we want to do fingering yarn? Or what's your kind of general thoughts on
I think
it?
it depends on the project.
And what kind of yarn is available to you?
That's what I was wondering is, in thinking about the project, obviously doing another rectangle might prevent people from signing up again because they might think it's just the same thing over again. But I was thinking maybe a half shawl would be like a cool, fun thing to do that would be simple enough. And it's a way to run through different colors, but that maybe doing a half shawl and DK weight yarn would be too heavy.
What's the name of that shawl that was in the club a few years ago, and it was very multicolored? Let me see if I can find it in my library.
The purple and blue and orange.
There was Muirburn and Jack Tar, and then years ago we did the Sheltie triangle.
It wasn't the Sheltie triangle. Let
The
me see if I
colorful
can
one.
find it. It was really colorful.
Pink and purple and green and orange.
Right. Raja Ampat.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I just saw a sample you guys had of that in neutrals and it was lovely.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
We have 2 samples in neutrals. We have a kit that we sell.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
in a combination of stone soup and it's up there on the wall.
Yeah. Something
I
along
made-
those
I made-
lines. And the reason I like this one so much is because it blended the yarns. I don't know if you can see it, but you know, it's like in each section, there's 2 different yarns. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I
Gorgeous.
made
Yeah.
that one. I made that one for the spring lace along, and I posted the
Yeah.
picture on that thread, Ravelry thread. I made the neutral one, and I bought the kit at the Yarn Discovery Tour last year.
Yeah, and Wendy's showing her one in the original colors there.
Right.
And then we have it also in an array of Better Breakfast fingering colors, like warm and cool tones as well.
That's what lured me into Anne. That was the hook.
Mhm.
I would much prefer to make a shawl out of fingering weight if I had my druthers,
Mhm.
just because
Yeah,
I think that the DK
Yeah.
would be too much,
Yeah,
too
and,
heavy.
you know, and when I say a half shawl, it doesn't have to be an old fashioned half shawl. It can be something cute and fun. But I think, Elizabeth, that, I mean, personally, for the experience of the wool along, I don't want to I don't want the stitch work to get like too complicated because like the stitches in that shawl have unusual maneuvers involving. So that would be my feedback on that particular idea, but doing stripes or maybe some slip stitches or easier slip stitches wouldn't be what, you know, might be nice. So I just wanted to kind of,
Yeah.
we're
Or a
never
mosaic.
we're never going to satisfy everybody's specific imagining about what this would be. I'm just throwing out a general idea of what do you think of a shift from DK to fingering, and what do you think of something like a shawl instead of a blanket? There aren't a lot of different types of projects you can do with 5 different yarns. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean,
I like
if it was
fingering.
if I could do anything I wanted, it would be like a sweater or a top, but I don't think that's feasible in that kind of a knit along. So
If you're going to do the knit along in the summer again, I think fingering would be a big advantage for anybody who's working on whatever the large size project is, because real hot working on this blanket right now.
And of course it would have both a triangle and a rectangular option. Like you could do, you know, you don't have to be married to a triangle shawl if you hate them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would try to make enough options to keep people happy without it being insane. But like we used to do in the clubs, you know, we had yarn go out and there would be enough of options that people were knitting the same thing, but in a shape that pleased them. Unless they were unpleasable.
Well, there are always those people, you know, we've ran into them over the last few years. You're never going to make everybody happy. And just to hit I think your yarn is fine enough and of such great quality that I, for one, really don't care what I knit. You know, for me, it's about the yarn and the experience. So I don't care what it is, but if it's a shawl fingering, you know, and I think,
or, you know, it might end up being sport weight because, we have to talk to the mills about that, but right now we're just shopping for fiber and we'll figure out the parameters as we go.
I was gonna say that I would love sport weight because I feel like that gives me flexibility for different garments, but also it's heavy enough where, you know, I personally, I'm like Elizabeth, I love the yarn experience. So I guess my answer, it would depend on the breeds, like whichever weight really shows off what you're choosing.
Yeah.
You know? But if you're going to do more blends, like you were talking about a couple of weeks ago, potentially, then the fingering might be really fun. So I'm down with whatever.
I don't know about doing more blends, but the other thing about sport weight that's nice is that, and it's for a lot of people, it's that step up from finger. A lot of people find fingering weight too fine. You know, it's just too thin. I don't, but there are a lot of knitters that balk at it, and sport weight gives you that little bit of weight, extra weight without being heavy. So that might be an option too, to go in between those two. And also sport weight makes a nice weighted sweater if you want to buy extra for a sweater.
I wasn't sure what to expect when this knit along started. What pulled me in was that it was benefiting rescues.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what pulled me in. I've done other knit alongs. They haven't been Zoom knit alongs, but I have certainly enjoyed this, learning about the different yarns and have a little different perspective. So I would say I do a lot with fingering yarn, but this has been a good experience. So whatever you choose, I'm sure that there's a group here that would support whatever.
You trust me now.
Yes, yes, I do.
Well, we've enjoyed having you. I'm really glad for any feedback people give us about it. I mean, for me, like I said before, the numbers staying the same, the attendance numbers staying the same every week is feedback in and of itself, that people are eager to come back and see what we're doing and what we're talking about week to week. So
I
I'm
have to
excited.
say. I
Go
have
ahead,
to say
Sally.
that was, I mean, I would anticipate, I missed a few, but anticipate them because the knowledge and the conversation, it was just wonderful. I've never been a part of anything like this. And usually I was knitting a garment because I like the look of the garment. And I, like a few of you have said, it was all about the yarn this time. And it was really a nice shift. It really was. So thank you.
And our sweater knit-alongs, our other knit-alongs are similar in that people are knitting different things, but it really does largely revolve around the yarn. And so you get to see different patterns in different yarn choices than maybe the sample was knit in. And people explain their choices and they talk about their experience working through the project in different yarn. And that's all really helpful and informative too.
Yeah, and your queue will get longer and longer.
Totally. Yes.
It's good.
I was going to add that these ladies that just started too, put in a plug for Barn Box. If you like getting those unique yarns that are different each month, every month in Barn Box, you get a completely different yarn. And then there's a chat just about that yarn. And I was really upset I had to miss the one last weekend because we were traveling, and I'll watch it online. But that's another way to kind of continue what this knit along was about, is to do those Barn Boxes every other month.
Yeah, this was like a crash course Barn Box-a-palooza. Yeah, but our Barn Boxes, just like each week of this was, we do that every 2 months and a project in between. So
Plus you get a free pattern in Barn Box, not just the yarn. There's a free pattern that comes in it.
well, the
It
wool,
includes.
yeah.
I'm super excited about the upcoming sweater knit along because I'm really excited to see if people are going to knit a sweater with any of the yarns we had in this club, in this wool along. I'm just really excited to see that because I'm sure at least a couple people will be.
Do you know what you're knitting yet?
I'm going to do Knotty Pine in the Targhee worsted
Targhee
with the
worsted.
hopes of finishing it well within the limit of the time, with the hopes of casting on something else. So I'm thinking about doing Firefly in the Barn Box, the new Barn Box yarn. So
Oh, that'd be nice. That would be really nice. I am, I've got a sweaters quantity of Sea Pearl that I got at Rhinebeck in 2012. So it's been 10 years that I've had this yarn. And I think I have enough to do Henley with a twist, because I'd make it so much shorter and everything.
Pretty.
So I'm really leaning heavily towards Henley with a twist.
That's a nice one to knit with that yarn, because with all those cables, it'll keep it really stretchy and
Right. Isn't that what you just did, Jose? Henley with a twist?
Yeah, loved
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan at least.
is anybody else signed up and have you chosen your sweater? I'm curious what other people might be doing and what yarn they might be using.
I haven't signed up yet, but I'm definitely going to, and I'm thinking about doing Violet in the goat.
Ooh.
Ooh, that
Ooh,
would be
nice.
I think that'll be pretty. That,
That
that
would be
sweater's been on my
lovely.
list for a while. I think it'd be really pretty. And I got it in the, I think it's the Michael is the color, the darker gray. But I also, for this barn box, I was looking at the Costa Figuera. Am I saying that right, Ann?
Yeah, Costa Figuera. Mhm.
Figuera. And I was looking at that you have it in a long vest or a jumper. Is the jumper the one that's not buttoned?
What?
I think in the pattern it comes in a vest or a tunic. I'm trying to remember what the options are.
A pullover or cardigan.
Okay.
V-neck with or without sleeves and hip length or lower hip length and knee length. And that's, if you notice Catherine's dress that she's worn several times, that's the pattern she used. So she has the jumper length, you know, the dress length.
Okay. I'm curious how y'all like that. I haven't ever made something like that or worn something like that, and I'm
Oh my
curious.
God, I love it.
Yeah, and I don't
so
know if Cynthia is here, but she has a dress length of Ivar, right? Yeah. And she likes that too.
I love it so much, Geeka, and I love it especially in the stone soup because there's no pilling, it's lightweight, and it's breathes really well. I mean, you know, I'm in a similar climate to yours, so if I get up in the morning in the spring and it's 50 degrees and we get to 70, 71, something like that, I don't feel like I need to change. It's not a problem. It's great. And the lace really allows it to breathe. But then also I'm not cold at all when it's cold. It's just amazing. I love it so much. And I cannot recommend the stone soup more if you did the dress length.
And I think the seasons, you said you wanted to use the seasons yarn or
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
haven't decided yet.
Oh.
I just was
And-
looking at that for the pattern.
And then if you want something even lighter and a little bit silkier, the Modern Deco lace, and probably you could even get Gauge with the Modern Deco Sport if you wanted something denser. Would be nice for your climate as well because it's a temperature regulating fiber.
What's in the Modern Deco lace? I don't remember.
No, it's 50-50 Targhee, comb Targhee, and Tencel.
Oh, okay. So how would it compare to the seasons?
Well, we have a sample knit in it. We have the Costa Figuera knit in the old Deco blend, which is really similar.
Okay.
And I believe it was knit in the heavier weight, but at the time that was spun as a 2-ply. Let me see if I can find it. It's one of my favorite samples. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on.
Okay.
Might be put away somewhere.
Well, mosquitoes are out, so I best go.
Bye, Jose.
I'm getting
later, Jose.
All right.
So
bye.
Catherine, do you wear the dress over something or you just wear it plain?
I usually, if I'm wearing it in the, like when it's colder, I usually wear it over the legging equivalent of tights, or pants. It looks great on both. I've worn it with jeans and I've worn it with like a stretch khaki, but I really love it in skinny, almost like tights.
Like
It
leggings.
Yeah. I mean, I could wear it without pants, but I just love it with. So
Okay. Part of the reason I ask is I teach movement classes, so a lot of times I'll wear leggings with a tunic over it, and I was thinking this might
oh, that's like my winter uniform. So yes, this would be fantastic in it. And I would say that the deco would be really drapey and flattering on you for sure.
That's really pretty.
Is this knit on size 5 needles? Do you remember, Catherine?
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember I used 3 for the ribbings
Yeah.
and 5s for the body, I think.
I think you could definitely, just depending on how light or how, like this is the old deco, which was a little less evenly spun, and it was a 2-ply yarn. And you can see there's some see-through here. Now the new modern deco, and this is the sport weight. The new modern deco sport is denser, like it wouldn't have as sheer of quality to it because the fiber is combed and it's a 3-ply yarn, so it's got a little bit denser. But you could probably still get the gauge required. And you could probably also get the gauge with the lace weight. It would be a lighter fabric like this, more like this one.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can get the same gauge with 2 different weights of yarn for a pattern. Just and because we make this yarn differently now, I'm thinking you might be able to. Because I knit Firefly on size 5 needles in the modern deco lace, and it's lovely. You know, it's like this fabric. It's semi-sheer, and that's when I hold it up to the light. It's not like when you wear it, you can see through it. You can't. And if you're gonna wear it with leggings and stuff, it should be fine.
I think Heather did a dress too, didn't she, Anne?
Well, I know she knit it. I just don't know. I don't know if she knit the long one or not. I can't remember. But yeah, she was making one.
And you can do the long one with or without sleeves, right?
Correct. Yeah, any of them can be knit with or without sleeves, and you could probably wangle a short sleeve too if you wanted one. You know, I would just you could just cast on the final number for the sleeve and knit, you know, do some ribbing, and it's just a stockinette sleeve, so you can really make like a t-shirt sleeve easily that way.
Cool. Okay, thank you so much. I have something to think about and add to my queue.
Yeah, I
as we
mean,
like to say.
in your climate and for the type of thing you wear it for, I would lean toward the deco.
Okay.
And the nice thing about like the deco lace has a lot of yardage. It's got in 4 ounces, it's got like 600 yards. So that's a nice aspect of it too.
Cool. That would make it more year round.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, sorry to monopolize the questions and then leave, but I need to go.
No,
Thank you
I just
so
want
much.
to say I wore that when we went to Tennessee in July a few years ago to do that SSK show. I
Yeah.
wore that top like all day on Saturday and was completely comfortable, and it was
Oh, that's
super crowded event, and
yeah, that's so good to know.
yeah.
That would be really fun to do that. It looks like a really pretty pattern.
Yeah, it's not difficult. You know, it's got that, the motif just repeats and repeats and repeats, and the rest is all stockinette. So
It was fun.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. I might do that one. What color did you do it in, Catherine?
The Stone Soup Marble.
So a light color. Yeah, I'll go look after a bit at the color choices.
and the color I just showed you is the chrome. It's it is in the old yarn, but they're really similar. The chrome in the new yarn is really similar to the old one.
Okay, cool. It's a pretty color.
Yeah.
Sort of a gray color, but not.
Yeah, it comes in only 3 shades, a bright white, a silver gray, the chrome, and the carbon steel, which is a darker, slightly darker gray, but not a charcoal or anything. It's just like a shade darker.
Okay. Okay. I think most of the grays, especially if they lean toward cool, work pretty well for me. Thanks. And everything you do is great.
Oh, thank you. I'm blushing.
Good, good.
I have started a thread in the forum, #1 knit spot fan. The Rhinebeck sweater KAL thread is started, so
Oh, good,
go
thanks.
chime in with what you think you're going to make, because as we all know, most of us change our minds.
Yeah, it's a knitter's prerogative, right?
It is.
And the knit along is like 9 weeks. I mean, some of you can knit 2 sweaters probably.
Not at this speed, but it'll be fun to play.
I might have to though.
You might have to knit too.
Just to keep things moving.
Yeah, cool. All right, thanks. I'll see y'all soon.
All right.
Bye, Kika.
It has been the funniest day. It's been dark and cloudy all day long and on and off drizzly. We rarely, like most of the time in Ohio, that's our weather all the time. But this summer has been so gorgeous that it's actually kind of odd.
Yeah, we had literally a monsoon go through. I never have rain come in my windows, but I had to get up a little while ago and get some towels out because the rain was just pouring in the windows. And I probably got some damp floors down in the basement, but I don't want to go look right now. It'll wait till later.
That happens at our house a lot. We get
Yeah.
rain blowing in from the west, usually.
And what are the dates of your yarn discovery tour?
It begins on the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So whatever, what is that, the
Labor Day.
6th?
After Labor Day, yeah.
Labor Day. I always say that. I always say Memorial Day instead of Labor Day. So whatever that is, the let's see, let me go there. Yeah, it starts on the 6th and goes through the 25th.
Okay.
And what is that, Anne? I mean, I remember it from last year, but I don't, is it just your area that?
It's our local, our
Yeah,
regional
okay.
yarn crawl. And we do it online as well. So I always produce a brand new pattern and we bring in like a colorful yarn to pair with one of our yarns. So I usually do a pattern that's a pairing. And we're working with Feederbrook Farm again, because that's just a favorite. And then, so you buy a passport for $8, and with that you get a tote bag and a what else? Anything else, you guys? My mind is a little fried. And then when the tour starts, when you shop at different stores, if you spend $10, you get your book stamped and a pin to add to the graphic on your bag, and a raffle ticket to win. That we have multiple like kit prizes, and
You get a free pattern too.
you get a free pattern. So you'll get the free pattern for my new design, which is exclusive to the tour participants until the end of September, until the tour ends. So you can't get the yarn and pattern unless you participate in the tour. And that usually causes a feeding frenzy at our store. People love our, and we have this year such cute patterns. Let me see if they're still in the house. Hang on.
And I will just add that Carrie Jo, you will love the yarn.
Oh no! Did you already see it?
I don't think you've seen it yet.
Is it public showing?
Yeah, they sent the cards. They sent cards with pictures of it. Like if you ordered anything during the mystery wool along.
Oh no.
Yeah, like
I
a,
have my cards.
it's like a fluorescent orange and pink blend.
Oh, that's what it is.
And then,
Yes, I'm going to
and then
love
like a fluorescent green. So, which
Oh,
sounds,
there.
you know, I'm sure people are like,
Susan's
not in
got
my,
it.
not in my wheelhouse at all. But then when you actually knit with it, it's really fun. So this is the cowl. This is the large cowl design with the brighter, like the orange yarn. So that's the long cowl. It's a mosaic knit. And then Jose very kindly knit the other combination, which is the greens and brown. So that's this. And so that's the other multicolor yarn. And then our crochet pattern is this really cute hat that Jose also crocheted for us. So
Very
isn't that cute? It looks just like it's knitted.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
So
you can-
actually she made both of these items with a skein of each yarn. So,
And
And
you
I
can
had-
participate online, right?
yes. And then you can also shop at the other stores, and it's fun and it goes on for quite a while, so you have time to peruse other people's websites. And some of the stores don't really have much of an online presence, so but they will make you can still do mail order with them. You can call them and order things online. So it's a lot of fun. The main thing usually is just getting people to get the yarn that we picked. So, and then of course these yarns can be used for any of the other color work patterns that I have. There's starting to be a little collection of color work options for that take advantage of Feederbrook Farm yarn. So in fact, we're getting a sample made. Oh shoot, now let me think. We're getting a sample made of the cowl with the Folkstone and the thermal expansion. This one, the fall colors, these woodsy, for a more tame, people who like neutrals more. So and they look spectacular together. The Folkstone with the different Feederbrook options that we have is really beautiful. So including, that multicolor Feederbrook that we started getting a little while ago, and I said it was like clown colors, but not clown barf, but it is like these bright circusy colors. The Folkstone looks so good with that. So anyway, it's a fun event. So Julie, you've never done the Yarn Discovery Tour in our area?
No, I did do it. Last year was the first time.
Yeah.
And that's how I discovered you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because there's like 13 or 14 shops, and I went in person to all but one.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're all over Northeast Ohio. So I'd say the spread of distance between the farthest east and the farthest west is probably an hour and a half, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Because there's one near Youngstown, and there's one all the way up in Vermilion, and
out and the one that's out in Lodi.
Lodi, yeah, that's a nice shop. And you were the farthest south, and so yeah. Then there's there's one in Cuyahoga Falls near Akron, and then the one I go to the most is Shaker, the Around the Table. I take classes there quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, really nice. I've never been up there.
Yeah, I really like that shop.
I've been to that shop a few years ago.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was an indie dyer, and she asked me to go up with her because she was going to a show up there. This is probably 2019, I'm going to estimate.
Yeah.
And we had a great time. I loved the shop.
Yeah, I like them because I was using a lot of Schipjes yarn, which is from Holland. And they're like one of the few retailers in the country that carry that yarn. And so I was buying it from them. And then during COVID, she started an online sock club. Beth did, Beth Billing, she's one of the owners. So I kind of got hooked up with their Zoom classes. And then they also have a woman named Peg Mayer. I don't know if you know her, Ann. She teaches some classes. And so I've taken a couple design classes with her. We just finished last night. We're doing a sweater design where we did mini little kid sweaters just to learn the basics and the dimensions and all that stuff. And so it's been a lot of fun. They're very knowledgeable. Not as knowledgeable as you. It's completely different, like animal, but.
We have 3 shops here in Canton now. We have still the artist gallery and then the small studio. Margaret, she moved her shop from wherever it was, like up in Oberlin, or I forget where
It
she
was
was.
like all, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And
Yeah,
she married somebody who lives in Canton and moved down here herself. And so now she's got a shop in the McKinley building downtown. So
are they
that's
participating in the yarn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I was actually looking online at space in that building just because, you know, it's very reasonable and, you know, we're always bursting out of our space, but as it turns out, our landlord here is going to give us a little extra space. So mostly for storage. We just have a lot of yarn.
You need to bring it to my house. That's okay. Some of it might disappear, but.
Yeah. We need to just keep it moving, but we're always bringing in more in order for that to happen. So it's just, and we have a lot of people. We have more people taking up space too. So, well, it's after 8 and I hate to shut it down, but I'm hoping to get the girls out for a walk tonight because we didn't get out last night. So I'm going to say goodnight.
Good night. See
you on Saturday. It's been the biggest pleasure. Thank you all for participating and see you Saturday.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.